Hello Russian learners, Anastasia here, and in this video I'm going to tell you something about the Russian verbs of motion that you probably didn't know or you had a question about it. So if this information is new for you and if it is useful, please after watching this video give me a thumbs up and share this video with anyone who is learning Russian. So let's get to it. If you have already studied the topic of verbs of motion in Russian, you have probably heard one explanation that is very common. A lot of teachers, a lot of books give this explanation, which goes like this. Ходить, идти. These two verbs are used when you walk, so when you move on foot. Movement without using any transport. And ездить, ехать, these verbs are used when you use transport. Any transport including skis and so on. So, if you have heard this explanation that ходить, идти are moving on foot and ездить, ехать are moving by transport, let me ask you to read these two sentences and analyze them. В выходные мы часто ходим в театр. В эти выходные мы идем в театр. So in these sentences we used the verbs ходить, идти. And let's think about it. Let's try to view the situation, to see the situation. Because in Russian, to use the correct grammar form, you need to be able to see the situation. We have visual grammar. And if you can see the context, the situation that is happening, the situation that is behind the sentence, then you will use the correct form. So, going to the theater. Let's imagine the situation. Most likely, if you go to the theater, you live in a city, right? Because theaters are most often located in cities. So how do you move around the city? Do you often walk to get to a place that is located within the city? Probably not. Probably to move around you use some transport. Either you move by car or you take public transportation, you take a bus, you take the subway, right? So there are not many places in the city within a walking distance from you, right? So most often you will use some transport. Does this mean that you will have to always use ездить, ехать? No. The thing is that when we talk about movement within one particular city or town or village, we use the verbs ходить, идти when we don't want to specify whether we're moving by transport or on foot. Let's look at another example. This dialogue. Ты где? Уже в пути. Скоро буду. Ты едешь на автобусе или идешь пешком? Иду пешком. So in this sentence, in this dialogue, the person needs to be specific, or the person wants the other person to be specific, whether you are using some transport or you are walking. And in this case, he or she uses different verbs. Едешь на автобусе или идешь пешком. And what is this word, пешком? Пешком is an adverb that means literally on foot or by foot. So we use the verb идти and we use it with this adverb, пешком, to specify that it's walking. When we don't use пешком, as in the previous example, в эти выходные мы идем в театр, it doesn't say whether it's on foot or by transport. We are just stating the fact that we will visit the theater this weekend. A few more examples. Ты завтра идешь на работу? Да, иду. Again, imagine the situation. How do you normally get to your workplace? Not many people are so lucky that they can walk to their workplace, to their office or whatever. Normally we need to take some transport or to drive, right? But it doesn't matter in this dialogue, in this situation. We just want to know if the person is going to be at work, to visit their office tomorrow. And we use the verb идти to do this. Сейчас я много работаю и редко хожу в фитнес-клуб. Again, the meaning is I am rarely at the fitness club. I rarely visit the fitness club now. The fitness club can also be located quite far from your home, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that you walk there. Я люблю ходить пешком. I like walking as an exercise. So here пешком specifies that it's on foot. В пятницу я еду в командировку во Францию. Here we use ездить, ехать. Well, ехать in particular. Because we are going to another country. And in this case, it's obvious that you will use transport, right? That is why we use ехать or ездить, ехать. Когда вы ездили в отпуск? В июле. Again, going on vacation, normally you go to another place, at least another city or town, right? So again, we use ездить, ехать. Let's sum up. If it's movement within one city or town, and you don't want to specify if you're going on foot, if you're walking, or you're using transport, you just want to say that you go to some place or you will be at some place tomorrow. You use ходить, идти. If you are going to a different town or city or country, you will use ездить, ехать, because using transport is necessary in this case. If you are going somewhere within one city, but you do want to specify whether it's by transport or on foot, you will use the corresponding verb. For example, я еду на метро, or я иду пешком, and you will use the adverb пешком to say that it's walking. If you want to learn more about verbs of motion, I am giving an open group lesson this Sunday, November 5th. If you want to get more information about the lesson, please join my Telegram channel. The lesson is only 422 rubles, which is like 5 times cheaper than my private lesson on Skype. So don't miss the chance to learn more about verbs of motion, to ask your questions if you have any. All the information, again, will be in my Telegram channel. The link is in the description. So let me know if it was useful, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more about the Russian language. And I'll see you in the next video. Пока-пока!